Okay, so welcome back everybody. Got another Pokemon video. Today we're going to be talking about the Battle Tower and the easiest ways to get through it. So just for the sake of picking Pokemon, we're going to be in double battle. But essentially here, you can rent all 5 teams right away from the guy in the tower. You don't have to pick one at a time. You can go through all of them whenever you want. So for singles battles, the basic team is definitely the easiest solo team. You just pick the starters, you're good to go, stick to your counters, great stuff, super easy. The skill team, however, does get quite a bit harder. You kind of have to have some knowledge of what's going on. If you don't, I would suggest, even just as a general tip for the Battle Tower, go and fill up as much of your Pokedex as you possibly can. That way the game can at least tell you what is super effective and not super effective and not effective at all. That way you can easily decide which Pokemon you want to bring out whenever you need to bring something out. And the skill team is usually pretty straightforward if you have a good understanding of what counters what, as well as what moves do what, because you do need to do a little bit of special moves to like boost your attacks and things like that, and knowing which ones to take out as well. If you have not the slightest idea of how to do that efficiently, you're going to end up spending a lot of turns boosting your Pokemon, and you're just going to be taking damage. And if you put out the wrong Pokemon, it's just going to get destroyed, and it's not a great time. But so far, basic team, easiest, skill team. You got to have a decent amount of knowledge of Pokemon. It's probably the medium difficulty team here. And then the tough team is the toughest team to use in solo battles, but it is one of the most rewarding. So I would suggest for the tough team as a decent strategy is you're going to want to stick to 2 Pokemon specifically, and then whichever third Pokemon suits you best for your playstyle. So we're going to go into tough team really quick. I know this is doubles, but I can still analyze the Pokemon in here. So Dragapult is definitely what you're going to want to start with. Super great. All the Pokemon, by the way, have max Dynamax level when you get them from this guy. Super convenient. And then, so he's got Dragon, Ghost, and Bug. I would suggest Dynamaxing him right away, especially if you have any attack that's effective. He's pretty great. And you essentially just want to use Dragon Darts. Don't worry about Draco Meteor because you can use that when he's not Dynamaxed. They all do the same damage when you're Dynamaxed. And then you don't really need a Mimikyu, although he's pretty convenient. Hippowdon is a pretty good Ice Ground, and then Aegislash really just sets the pace. So I know you're going to have a lot of ghost moves and normal moves in this set, but you're also going to have a fighting, and you're also going to have ground ice, which is pretty great. If you want to swap one out, you can probably get by with without Aegislash. You rely on Phantom Force as your Dynamaxing ghost move, and then you can have Rotom for fire instead of Aegislash for Ghost Steel. Rotom's actually not too bad. He's pretty good. So, yeah, start with Dragapult. Then you're going to go over to Rotom or Hippowdon or Aegislash, depending on what your playstyle is. If you're playing in doubles, which I even use the solo teams for doubles a decent amount, those are the 4 that I would go with. Really, really good team. And now for doubles, the slow team and rain team are amazing. So rain team, if you're just starting out, amazing team. You're actually not going to want to start out with Pelipper, like he says, because you don't necessarily want rain right away. So a good trick here to control the battlefield based on what your opponent is for doubles is you're going to want to start with Ludicolo and Seismitoad. And what you're going to do is you're going to Dynamax Ludicolo first turn every single time. And if you feel that the water boost is going to be beneficial, then you just use his water move when you're Dynamaxed, and then you have rain right away. And then Seismitoad will be great, and then your third and fourth Pokemon are going to be Barraskewda and Pelipper. So in case things go bad with Ludicolo, or none of his attacks match up for whatever reason, then you can switch in Pelipper, it'll start raining, and then you can go with Pelipper and Seismitoad and just start dealing some damage. But usually what happens is Ludicolo lasts quite a while. Seismitoad usually gets knocked out after I use his poison attack, because I've been getting a little higher up and I've been starting to need to use poison and his ground attack a bit more. And then Barraskewda will come in for Seismitoad, and then eventually Ludicolo will die and I'll bring Pelipper out. And I've been using Ludicolo's ice moves to get hail on the battlefield, and I know that doesn't do anything for my water Pokemon, but it does do some chip damage against some flying Pokemon that maybe Earth Power might not work against, or Poison might not be effective against, or Water might not be effective against. And at least you can bring their HPs down a little bit while also buffing Ludicolo's Ice Beam the next time around, because it's the only ice move you're going to get, and it's pretty useful most of the time. So Ludicolo, Grass, Water, Ice, Normal. Barraskewda is amazing. He also has an item on him that boosts the power of each of his hits at the cost of some HP, making him really strong, which is why he's my third Pokemon. I don't want him to be targeted with any like turn 1 or turn 2 combos. And he has a fighting move, which is very, very convenient, especially for a water Pokemon. Skip over Pikachu. You don't need Ferrothorn either. Steel's nice, but Water, Poison, Ground is amazing, and Flying Water normal. Between all those, Grass, Water, Ice, Fighting, Poison, and Ground, and Flying, you're good to go. You have everything you need. So that's the easiest double team. Ludicolo, Seismitoad, Barraskewda, Pelipper, in that order. And then a much more complex team, the slow team. Ignore these, this is just my party that I'm working on right now. The slow team, amazing team. You really need to know how to speed them up and what moves to use. And sometimes you might have to make some trades, and it is quite technical sometimes, but there is a great combination of very good Pokemon in here. So Lucario, amazing. You have to start with Lucario pretty much every time. Like there's no like change of pace here. So fighting moves, amazing. Then Hatterene is good for Fairy. You want that. Copperajah. I was gonna say Copperajah, but it's Copperajah. Super crazy amounts of damage with this guy. So now you got your fighting, you got your Fairy, and you got your big elephant over here. He's got Steel, Ground, Grass, Normal. He has an amazing mix of stuff. You may want to have Oranguru instead of Hatterene, but I like having the fire. It's not terrible. So, yeah. A little convenient. Mystical Fire is actually not too bad. So, yeah. So, Lucario, Hatterene, Copperajah is for your solo, and then if you want to go farther than that, then Torkoal's pretty good if you want to go Arangu and still have some fire moves. Or you can also have Delmise as well, if you want some Ghost Grass. But keep in mind you have Grass on Copperajah. So yeah. So then you could, yeah. So then in that situation, Lucario, Oranguru, Torkoal, and Copperajah. Great battles team. Double battles team. And the while I'm at it, I didn't go over the solos teams for skill. So we'll take a quick look at skill, which is a very interesting team. There's quite a lot here. So I'm a big fan of Tyranitar. So, but I don't think you'll have him in Sword. I'm not sure if they switched that out for Sirfetch'd. But Phalanx is great, Gyarados is a great water, and Tyranitos is a great dark. I mean, you could really pick any 3 of these guys and it'll be pretty great. So yeah, Rock, Dark, Fighting Dragon, Tyranitar's got like everything you would ever need. And then Fighting Bug for your Phalanx. He's really, really strong. And then I guess you would need to choose between your Gyarados and your Como. So yeah, Gyarados is pretty great. Water, Ice, Ground Dragon. Then you don't need to necessarily worry about Como. Get the Phalanx in there for the fighting. Tyranitar for the Rock Dragon. Or if you really want, if you're okay not having Tyranitar, you can switch Tyranitar out for Duraludon. He's not too bad. Psychic Steel still works out pretty well. But yeah, I would highly suggest using any of these preset teams. I wouldn't even bother going out of your way to train a team and work on anything until you've actually climbed your way through the tower a good amount and gotten yourself some rewards, and then you just go and hunt Pokemon for good Pokemon stats. And then once you have some decent Pokemon, you come over to this guy, give him a bottle cap, and he'll max out one of the stats on your Pokemon. So I actually have one half decent Pokemon that I'm gonna start working on. That's gonna be Lantern. He is fantastic. And I don't think I can actually check his IVs from here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna open boxes and do it from there. So yeah, amazing stats. He's got best for everything except special attack. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use a bottle cap on him when I get to 100. And decent is going to get maxed to best. He's going to have perfect IVs. I'm going to have a good water electric Pokemon to start a team with. I'm going to max his Dynamax, and I'm going to go from there. And essentially, you want to like see Cinderace is a great starter, but they're just decent everything. So Eternatus is great stats. I've actually organized my boxes into whatever has amazing, great, and I got rid of everything less than great stats. Good stats, I released everything. Okay stats, I released everything. And I'm just going to go on a catching spree based on what I see fit. And try to get as best of a squad as I can. I really want a slightly better Rookidee so I can get myself a Corviknight with perfect stats. And then Zamazenta's really, really good, but he's super defensive. So if you're going to build a team with him, just keep in mind that he's definitely defense oriented. But yeah, that's that. That's my recommendations for how to get through the tower quickly and easily. Rent yourself a team that you like. Use it for either one, if I'm completely honest. They're all really, really good. Whatever suits your playstyle the best. And then once you have yourself a bunch of items, go from there and work on some Pokemon. Okay. Well, that's it. Hopefully this helped, and I'll see you guys in the next video.